It's just all about love and life and living in freedom. That's what it's all about for me now.
Welcome to the Rich Spinster podcast. This is Alexis, and I have spent the morning listening to music. I've said before what a profound impact music has in my life. I was on a plane recently. I took a flight, and I always listen to music on my flight. Always listen to music on my flight because I'm like, if the worst thing happens, then I really want to be grooving to Bruno Mars on my way down. And let me tell you something. With all of the craziness that is happening with flights lately, I am not a person who loves to fly in general. I'm not afraid to fly. It's just not my most pleasant experience as a Virgo. I really do not like giving over control of my life on any level, but especially in the air. So, flying, I really have to prepare to fly. And when I do, I'm getting to the airport, I have my earbuds in, and I am ready to, groove into the friendly skies. My most recent flight, I was listening to Bruno Mars. And let me tell you something. If Bruno Mars never does anything else for me, he has done enough. I still love that 24 Karat album. That album will never grow old. That album has gotten me through so many things. And I'm just never tired of it. I listened to that 24 Karat album my entire flight to Florida on repeat. And I was still grooving to it. By the time I got my rental car, I still was grooving to Bruno Mars' 24 Karat album. There is just something about the sound of it, obviously, that brings me back to the 90s, but it just feels so damn good. There is something about it that just feels so damn good. Oh, speaking of music, am I the only person that has to listen to music when they clean? The, if I'm cleaning in the house, I am having music on. This was my experience as a child, though. As a child, when it was time to clean on a Saturday morning, I knew it was time. The cue that it was time was that music was playing. If I heard Anita Baker, I knew what the morning was gonna be like. With all my heart, I love you, baby. If I heard that, I knew it was time. I knew what was happening. I would be lying in my bed and I would say, damn, damn. Why is Anita playing this morning? All I want to do is watch cartoons, but now I got to give the best that I got. And so I was listening to the Bruno Mars album this morning a little bit, and then I was listening to Barbra Streisand. So let me tell y'all something. I love Barbra Streisand. I loved Barbra Streisand as a child. When I saw Yentl, when I saw Yentl, I fell in love with Barbra Streisand. She was, Papa, can you hear me? You could not tell me I was not Jewish, okay? Somebody get me a bagel. Listen, I loved her so much. I remember asking for a Barbra Streisand book for Christmas, and I'll have to find that photo of me with my Barbra Streisand book, holding it up to the camera. It was everything that I wanted. It was the one thing that I asked for. And I remember just being so excited to get it. I actually went to a Barbra Streisand concert some years ago in Tampa, Florida, when she toured. And Barbra Streisand touring just does not happen. But she toured and I got the tickets. And let me tell you how blessed I was, okay? So I get the ticket to the Barbra Streisand concert. I am amped. Now, mind you, the rich spinster ticket was in the back. Okay. Because I don't know if any of you know, but Barbra Streisand tickets are crazy expensive. But tickets in general now are insane. But I purchased my ticket and I got to the theater and they were like, yeah, you need to go down the hall to this table and they're going to help you with your ticket. And I'm like, what the hell? So I go to the table as I was instructed to do, and they were like, yeah, we are moving your seats. And my seats, y'all, my seats were so close. Yeah, my seats. My seats were so freaking close. I could not believe it. They didn't give an explanation. I don't know if she didn't sell in that particular city, but I was happy. And I sat there and I watched her come out on stage and I was emotional. I was so emotional. I was probably one of the youngest people there. I was definitely one of only a handful of Black people there, and I did not give a damn. I was in my element. I was happy. I was singing along with the songs. I watched her come out. She looked beautiful, stunning. And then Barbara started singing, Papa, can you hear me? Papa, can you see me? Papa, can you find me in the night? And tears started coming out of my eyes. I started crying, y'all, at the Barbra Streisand concert. It was like a religious experience for me. All I cared about was being in the moment at that Barbra Streisand concert. It was one of the best experiences of my entire life. I haven't been much of a concert goer in my life. And really, the reason I don't go to concerts is because I am not a crowd person. I actually wish I was a person that enjoyed going to concerts. I don't really enjoy going to concerts because I don't enjoy crowds. I hate crowds so much. I don't go to the grocery store. I don't go to Sephora. I don't go to any place on a weekend. Prime time for those places, I'm at home. I don't care what I need. I am not going on a Saturday. And it's so confusing to me how so many of you can deal with that. I'll talk to my brother, and my brother will be like, yeah, I'm going to Costco. And I'm like, on a Sunday at 2 o'clock? I don't understand why you all are playing with your peace and mind that way. It is the idea of walking into a Costco at 2 o'clock on a Sunday. It damn near gives me hives. I'm not even kidding with you. And so I want to see so many acts in person. I want to go see Bruno Mars. I want to go see all of the top acts, but I just cannot deal with the crowds. And I know that I won't have a good time. Like I know that I won't have a good time. And I'll do it when it comes to some things. Like I've been to, Broadway, and I've sat in the audience next to people, and you know, I just don't like crowds. I don't think that I am a high maintenance person. I don't think that I'm difficult, but I know that I'm not easygoing. And the reason I know that I am not easygoing is because the things that bother me really bother me. So much so that I like to avoid any situation where I'm going to be super bothered. But the things that bother me more and more now, it's like it's increasing or something. And there aren't a lot of things that bother me. But the one thing that really bothers me above all other things, chewing noises. Listen to me. The sound of a person chewing or swallowing makes me feel violent. It's called misophonia, but I have it. And I have it so strongly. And I do not understand how the rest of you can stand hearing somebody else chew. I have always hated the sound of people chewing. And I remember as being a child and just looking at someone who was smacking their food, and they were a whole ass adult. He was smacking his mouth and it was full of food. And that was the first time I ever really felt violent. I was probably 8, and I was like, if he smacks one more time, just one more time, and that feeling is increasing over time. I have gotten off of the telephone with people who decided that that was the time that they were going to eat a French fry. I once had a consultant that I was working with who used to drink on our calls. Okay, listen, I understand people get thirsty. I get thirsty too. But he would drink and I would hear this sound in his throat and it would make me choke. It was one of those things that drove me bananas. I also used to check in with someone on a weekly check in, and I would call her and we would be talking, and then she would do it, y'all. She would pick up her water bottle and she would, y'all, she would swallow. And every time she swallowed, I wanted to slap the shit out of her. Oh, oh, y'all, every time she swallowed, I wanted to slap her. It is something that drives me insane. Oh, and let's not talk about those of you, you're especially grown ass people, those of you who are out there popping gum. Why are y'all outside popping gum? You know what popping gum makes me want to do? It makes me want to flick people. You ever want to flick somebody? Just take your finger and just flick them in the damn forehead. That's what happens. That's what I feel deep in my soul when people are popping gum. What are we doing with the gum? As a matter of fact, when I went to see Othello on Broadway, I was sitting in my seat and people were still coming in, and I started hearing this sound. And I'm like, I know good and damn well there's not somebody in here popping gum. That's not happening. I know somebody has better damn sense than to be sitting up in Othello popping gum. I turned and looked, and it was a man about 3 rows in back of me, and he was dressed to the nines. He was black dandyism in full effect, beautiful, stylish, smooth. And then he said, pop, pop. And I looked at him and I really contemplated a lot of things. But what I kept telling myself is, Alexis, you have come too far in life to go to jail. I just stared at him. And that look said, if Denzel comes on this stage and I hear pop, pop, I'm going to hit you with the 1-2. I'm going to hit you with a 2-piece, sir. If you pop that damn gum, when Jake Gyllenhaal walks his ass on this stage, we're going to have a situation. Fortunately, we didn't. Fortunately, we did not. By the time the lights dimmed in the theater, he had stopped popping. And I don't know if it was my stare or not, But I am grateful that neither of us had to find out what would have happened had he continued. And if you are a grown person, I really want to know, if you are a grown person and you are smacking food, I want to know how this has happened. How did you get to a big age still smacking food? Did no one ever tell you? And then also my question is like, why? Oh, let's talk about one thing. Let's talk about slurping. Can we talk about slurping? Let's talk about slurping. Slurping drives me out of my mind. If it's too hot, put the shit down. You can wait. You know what also drives me nuts? Those of you who have cell phones and you're walking in the store and you decide that's when you want to make a call and to talk on speaker. Why is that happening? Why are you that oblivious that to other people around you? You don't live in a world by yourself. I don't understand why I have to hear you talking to your Aunt Elizabeth about where you are and what you are doing and how you talk to your cousin Sheila. And Sheila said her son failed the third grade. And you want to know how he failed the third grade when Sheila is a teacher. Is she not giving him tutoring? Is she not spending time with him? I don't give a damn about Sheila, the little boy, or Aunt Elizabeth. Why do I have to know everything about them? I don't understand why you don't have earbuds in. And if you don't have earbuds, I don't understand why the phone is not to your damn it ear. You were raised like that. If you're of a certain age, you were raised with the phone to your ear. What are we doing? And it's a weird thing, these cell phones, too. Why we have to answer them all of the time, looking at them all of the time. I think a lot of people are madly in love with their phones. It's a means of distraction. It's a means of entertainment. It's an escape from yourself. Listen, cell phones are an amazing tool. I love that we have this technology. If we did not have this technology, I probably wouldn't be connecting to so many of you right now. However, your cell phone is not your lover. Well, it does vibrate, but okay, whatever. But your cell phone is not your lover. Your cell phone is not your mother, your sister, or your friend. Your cell phone is not human. You are robbing yourselves of the ability to truly connect with other people. Just look them in the eyes. Ask them how their meal is. Focus on the person in front of you. Because I can be guilty of that too. I am guilty of using my cell phone when I am someplace that I really don't want to be. You want to see me on my phone? I'm probably someplace that I don't want to be. I guess we're talking about things that annoy me today. When I see people flipping out in public, I am always confused. I have never in my life gone off on anyone in public. I am a person who is very controlled, and I do understand we are all wired differently. But the things I see online of people completely losing their minds, I don't find it entertaining. I find it sad. What has happened to you that the woman at Burger King handing you your food and the order was wrong made you think that you could throw something at her? What is wrong with you that you think because the cashier may have given you the incorrect change or that your card didn't go through and it's somehow her fault? What about you makes you think it's okay to verbally abuse that person? What has to happen for two strangers in the dollar store to start arguing, screaming at each other, and then the next thing you know, trying to fight? What did y'all get dropped on your heads? How does that happen? I understand that oftentimes people who feel powerless in their lives like to wield what little power that they feel that they get over other people. So someone who is serving them someone who's checking them out in line. In that moment, they feel as though that person is beneath them somehow. And because that person is beneath them, they can take out all of their rage, all of their bitterness, all of their insecurity on that person who is just trying to do their job. A good way to get me to never speak to your ass ever again. Be disrespectful to a waitress. Be disrespectful to someone who is checking you out at the grocery store. Be disrespectful to anybody in the service industry, and I will never speak to you again. There was somebody that I went out to lunch with one time, and I did not know this person well at all. But we went out to lunch and everything was really fine until we couldn't find the waitress. Mind you, the restaurant was not packed. Mind you, the waitress really wasn't on top of her game. But that's okay. But when she appeared and she was already walking in our direction, this fool snapped her fingers at the waitress. And it took everything in me to not break those fingers. I just imagined in my mind, it was like a movie. Me with incredible Hulk like strength, taking those fingers and cracking them. And in my mind, what I heard were her bones crunching like Ruffles potato chips. It was like, it was maybe a 2-second fantasy that I had in that moment. And all I could say was, do not snap your fingers at anybody. I hate when people feel as though they have a little power and they're going to use that power to abuse other people. It's sad. And I'm seeing more and more of this shit on social media. Like, why are people flipping out? I have heard people who have gone off on other people. I have heard them before telling the story. I went into the store and the lady said this and I went off on her. What? Listen, first of all, no one is going to control me enough to knock me off of my square. I am never going to pick up a cell phone and start yelling into my cell phone for social media. I am never going to go off and have a tantrum in a store because they gave me wrong information or they gave me the wrong change. Whatever it may be, there is a way of voicing displeasure without making you look like a fool. Again, I acknowledge that I am wired differently. I don't have a short temper. I absolutely get irritated, and I know how to put someone in their place calmly, clearly, and without a doubt let them know that I am not to be messed with in this moment. But I'm never going to throw a tantrum up in Ulta. What I don't know what has to happen for you to be screaming in a grocery store. And trust me, we have all had bad days. We have all had those days when we have been like, if one more thing happens, it's always the little things though. Maybe that's why people go off. Here I was talking about why people lose their shit in public. Maybe it was the last popping of the gum. All right, so I forgive you all out there. All of y'all who have lost it in public, I forgive you. If that final straw that broke the camel's back was the popping of double mint. I do feel that some people want to have social media moments, but that's not the moment you really want to have on social media. Yeah, you do have a few people who look at that as entertainment and say, oh my goodness, did you see so and so? She went off on that lady. But here's the thing, if you are powerless, if you feel powerless in your life, and you erupt in a Burger King or you erupt in the grocery store, and when you get in your car, you're still you, feeling powerless. I'm not surprised by it anymore. I don't watch those videos. I try to be very intentional about what I take in because I am a person who's very visual and I will remember whatever it is that I see. And I just don't want to spend my life taking in the worst of humanity. The worst of humanity, I don't find to be entertaining at all. Those are some of my pet peeves. Do you know what videos I do like to see online? I love seeing videos of people dancing. I I don't care what kind of dancing it is. If it's bad, it's beautiful. I love seeing people dancing or just groups of people who you wouldn't expect to be together, being together and having a beautiful time. That's the life I'm trying to live. That's the life that I want to see more of. But also, sometimes I think I give the impression that I'm a people person. I am not a people person. I'm a person's person. I love connecting with people one on one. I love relationship building. It's one of my favorite things when you can sit across from someone and you start listening to them. And the more I listen to them, the more questions I have about who they are, about their lives, their interests. I love the story of other people, which is why my dream is to really travel the country in an Airstream or some sort of RV and to just stop and have conversations with people. We need to have supper with a spinster. There are so many interesting people from different walks of life that I would never have the ability to have dinner with. Like, how would you meet that person in Idaho? I ain't going to Idaho unless I go to Idaho. I love doing that. One of my favorite things is to sit next to someone and then have a conversation strike up about the weirdest thing. I love sitting down next to an old woman and hearing the story of her life. I love when she starts talking about her grandson and how her grandson is going to this particular school because he is interested in this particular thing. And her other grandson, he's a sculptor. And he's always been so talented. How she was married for 47 years to her husband, Charlie. And that when the son of a bitch died, she really started living her life. I love those unexpected details that you get in restaurants or on airplanes. Those little connections are everything to me. But groups of people miss me. Miss me with the groups of people. Oh, you know something else that I hate? And this must be the Virgo in me. The Virgo in me really hates this. Don't be late. Unless there is an actual emergency, I don't understand why you're late. I am always puzzled by people and their lateness and how they're just so comfortable being late. I remember as a child, I was going to be picked up this particular day, and I decided that even though school was out and even though it was time for me to be outside in the pickup area, I wanted to talk to my friend. And I probably talked to my friend 10 minutes. It wasn't a really long time, but I spent time talking to my friend. And then I grabbed my damn JanSport backpack and I walked my ass outside to the parent pickup line where my brother was sitting in the back seat. And mama was glaring at me as I was crossing the street to the pickup area. And she said, "Where were you?" And I said, "I was talking to Jennifer." And why did I say that? She said, "Don't you ever have someone waiting on you." And it was in that moment that I got the lesson that that is a matter of respect. If I am supposed to be on time somewhere, it is respectful for me to show up there on time. Let me schedule lunch with you. Lunch is at 1 o'clock. and you strolling in at 1:30. You know what happens? You know what happens when you stroll in at 1:30? I'm not there. I'm not waiting for you. People now in my life have a 15-minute limit and I am gone because just like it's 1 o'clock for me, it's 1 o'clock for you too. I don't have extra time between the minutes. We have the same amount of time. We got the same 60 seconds. Listen, I understand that things happen. I understand that there are accidents on the road that may delay you. In that case, I am completely understanding. Text me, hey boo, I'm running late. There's an accident. Maybe your doctor's appointment ran behind. However, if you just late because you're late and you're always late, who do you think you are that people should wait for you? There was someone one time, like we had plans and I thought for sure something had happened because we had scheduled to get together and had scheduled to get together for a while. Then I'm like, this is 20 minutes in. Something had to happen. I got no text message. I got nothing. I'm like, I'm actually hungry. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and order. I'm going to eat my lunch. And if this other person shows up, great. If they don't, fine by me. Do y'all know I ate my whole lunch before I got a text that said, I'm 5 minutes out? You about to be 5 minutes out eating lunch by your damn self because I'm gone. I paid my check and I sashayed my ass to my Toyota at the time and went home belly full. And I never made plans with that person again. That is the Virgo in me. Have respect enough to be on time. If you can be on time for your job, then you can be on time for me. And if you're not on time for your job on a regular basis, you will get fired. I don't give you multiple times to get fired. I'm going to give you one shot. One shot, and we're out of here. You're clearly too busy to be engaged with me. So let's do this another time like never. Oh my God, that drives me bananas. Like, what are y'all do? What are you doing that you're late? And some people, their identity is being late. It doesn't bother them. And it's not that I'm trying to change other people. It's just they should be changed. But no, it's not that I'm trying to change other people. If you are a person and you are late and you don't see that as disrespectful, you see that as a part of your identity. Hey, I just get there when I get there and that's who I am. Do you? But you won't be doing me. I tell you that. You won't be doing me on any level. Thank you for listening to the Rich Spinster podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeart. And please go ahead and subscribe to me on YouTube at Rich Spinster. Until next time, have a fantastic week.